This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
They are qualified, they should be able to stay in Canada, and that's what they should do.
What we are seeing is politics being played out over policy.
Coming up, workers welcome the pushback after the Premier voiced his concerns over Canada's temporary foreign worker program. Also tonight.
I love to swim. Makes me feel really good.
Sporty seniors, BC's best athletes flock to Nanaimo for their chance at gold in this year's edition of the 55-plus games. Plus, Adam finds out what happened after a Ladysmith man tried to travel all the way around Vancouver Island on a stand-up paddleboard. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with pushback from the South Island's Filipino community over comments made by the Premier about temporary foreign workers. As CTV's Brendan Strain reports, they say they feel betrayed, and without those workers, some businesses will struggle to stay open.
What we are seeing is politics being played out over policy.
Restaurants Canada, a national advocacy group that represents the food service industry, is calling out Premier David Eby after these words last week, taking aim at the temporary foreign worker program.
That program needs to be either reformed significantly or cancelled.
He went on to say that temporary foreign workers are flocking to food banks and homeless shelters.
Young people are facing challenges getting into the employment market.
The president of Restaurants Canada says the food service industry is where many young people begin their working careers, and her stats don't align with the Premier's.
Temporary foreign workers make up 3% of the food service workforce nationally, and they make up 1% of the total workforce in British Columbia.
We actually feel betrayed.
There is a heavy cloud over Victoria's Philippine, PNE and Cultural Centre today. Roughly 5,000 temporary foreign workers rely on the centre for community, and many are now questioning what their futures will be after working so hard to build life in Canada.
Because when they go back, what's going to happen to them? They don't have a house, they don't have a job, and where are they going to be? So they have to start again all over.
The president of the Cultural Centre says many of those TFWs are filling gaps in Victoria's workforce, including the service industry, retail, and home health care. Sectors that are on the lower side of the pay scale. Industries that business owners struggle to find workers for.
Industry in here will be crushed, right?
If the program was to be scrapped, it would be up to the federal government to make that call. The Filipino community says if that happens, those that are already here should be allowed to stay.
They are qualified, they should be able to stay in Canada, and that's what they should do.
For now, much of the political speak has many concerned, including those in the restaurant industry, who say temporary foreign workers are keeping Canada's economy afloat. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
A major development today in a case that shocked British Columbians and made international headlines. A judge says the suspect in Vancouver's Lapu Lapu Day Festival attack is mentally fit to stand trial for murder. Adam Kaiji Low is charged with 11 counts of second-degree murder and now an additional 31 counts of attempted murder over the April 26th attack in which an SUV plowed through a crowded street. The reasons behind the judge's decision cannot be immediately broadcast because of a publication ban. A group of media organizations, including CTV News, has challenged the publication ban. The judge's ruling on that application is expected tomorrow. A man has been charged with second-degree murder in connection to a death in Saanich. Investigators are still at the scene the day after police were first called to the home in a cul-de-sac on Hayden Court. Police say they were asked to conduct a well-being check around 5 a.m. September 9th and found a man dead at the property. His family has identified him as Cole Williams. In a statement, they describe him as a legendary plumber who was larger than life and helped anyone who needed him. They say he was in his own house where he should have been the safest, adding they are in shock that they have lost such a bright light. Police say the victim and accused were known to each other. Anyone with information is asked to call Vancouver Island Integrated Major Crime Unit detectives. Sydney councillors have voted against putting an extreme weather response shelter in an affordable housing site that's home to adults over the age of 55. The town's mayor says council asked staff to look at finding a spot for the shelter this coming winter so they could get approval from BC Housing by September 30th. Staff proposed setting up 10 to 20 spots in Wakefield Manor on 3rd Street, where Beacon Community Services runs a subsidized seniors residence. The mayor says the 4-3 decision to turn down the proposal was partly because people felt more consultation was needed. He says there were also concerns around safety for residents inside the manor. Lake Cowichan is moving forward with its community plan for a new medical clinic, according to the town's mayor. In June 2024, a building permit was issued for an addition to a private residence with the intention of becoming the community's new health clinic. Well, due to a zoning issue around home-based businesses, the applicant was forced to apply for a more specific rezoning permit. Last night, after a year of failed resolutions, council officially passed the application and will hold a final vote for approval of the clinic's rezoning permit next Tuesday. The BC Senior Games are taking place in Nanaimo this week. Athletes ranging from 55 to 101 years old have converged on the Harbour City. CTV's Andy Garland was there for the kickoff and met one of the coolest swimmers to hit the pool.
Betty Brussel is the oldest competitor at the 55-plus games in Nanaimo.
I am 101 years old.
She's swimming in an impressive 6 events and has been competing at the games for decades.
This is my 35th time.
Betty is one of 2,700 participants from all corners of the province, competing in 21 sports and activities throughout the Harbour City this week.
It's the largest multi-sport event in the province.
There's a wide range of activities, from team sports like hockey and soccer to individual events like equestrian and even billiards.
Promote active living and being active for life. Our logo or tagline is for life, sport, and friends, and that's what it's all about.
The most popular event at the Games is also the fastest growing sport in the entire country. Pickleball has 350 participants and registration sold out within a day.
It's just an amazing sport. It's all inclusive for everybody. You know, anyone from any age can play it.
We're all here supporting. Like, they're supporting us. Like, yeah. How great is that?
They came here at like 7:45.
Disc golf, a sport that has grown in popularity on the island, including in Nanaimo, is making its debut at the Games.
For all ages, often free on most courses. It's great exercise. You get outside.
It's been almost 20 years since the last time Nanaimo hosted the Games.
The economic impact is enormous, and we just love to have people come because they come back again after they see our beautiful city and our beautiful waterfront.
The 55-plus Games encourages people to stay healthier longer, not only for their physical health, but their mental health as well.
I love to swim. Makes me feel really good to swim. I always feel good when I have a swim.
And doing something you love is what keeps Betty and these other competitors active. Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
A very surprising rescue took place at the Souk Potholes Park yesterday when a concerned citizen found a rare ball python wrapped in a pillowcase. And the snake wasn't alone. According to the Capital Regional District Animal Shelter, the snake, now dubbed Ivory, was found with a rat. The rodent, named Sable, and Ivory the snake were found abandoned in a box in the parking lot. Well, the python had some injuries to her head and is receiving care. The CRD says this is a sad example of how some pet owners are not prepared to deal with the creatures they adopt. Both the snake and rat will be available for adoption in the coming weeks. A firefighter in the Qualicum Beach area made an unusual rescue earlier this week. Dashwood Fire Captain Willow Bloomquist says she was driving to work Monday morning when a barred owl popped out of the ditch and hit her car's mirror. Well, she took the little guy to North Island Wildlife Recovery Center, which found his spine is inflamed. They say he'll make a full recovery. Bloomquist says the nocturnal animals shouldn't be out during the day, and this may have been preventable.
Typically comes from the idea that we think that we can throw our fruit, apple cores, banana peels, etc., out the window as we're driving because they will eventually, go back to the earth. But what ends up happening is those attract mice, rodents, etc., which, as we know, is owls' food. So you end up with owls on roadsides going for the mice that are going for the apples or the banana peels, and that's often how these animals are getting hit.
She says it's best you keep your food in your car until you can find a compost bin. Still ahead, Canada promising to stand with Poland after a serious escalation in Eastern Europe.
Allies expressed solidarity with Poland and denounced Russia's reckless behavior.
Russian drones shot down after entering Polish airspace. Coming up, more on the incident and the response. 20 degrees, some sunshine out there. Josh will be back after the break with the full forecast.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
Hey, West Shore youth, looking for a fun spot to hang out? Youth nights are here. Skating, art, swims, and a place to chill. Staff-led and supervised for a safe, inclusive vibe. Check out wspr.ca for more info.
Well, Josh, it's been cool mornings, warm afternoons. What's the rest of the week have in store?
Fairly pleasant temperatures, it looks like, over the remainder of this week and into the weekend. There are some showers for most of the island over the course of the weekend. We'll get to that with 5-day forecasts in a moment. You may even see some spotty light showers across parts of the west coast early tomorrow morning, but you can see around Victoria up through Nanaimo into the Comox areas. Should see fairly clear skies overnight tonight and through tomorrow morning. There's that chance for a little bit of patchy drizzle for parts of the west coast. Maybe a couple of scattered showers grazing northern portions of the island as well early in the day tomorrow, and then things clear up for those areas in through the afternoon, and the sunshine sticks around for the next couple of days in Victoria. All right, so let's take you through the next 5 days. In the north, 18s for highs Thursday, Friday, partly cloudy tomorrow after that slight risk of a spotty shower in a couple sections tomorrow morning. Best chance for rain comes Saturday, especially Saturday evening, and that actually looks like for some areas could be heavy, steady rain. Maybe a good 20 to 40 millimeters worth of rain. So we'll see how that plays out as we get closer to that. Through the next couple of days, it should come into a little better shape. Sunshine and 26 tomorrow, 23 or 24 for highs Friday, Saturday. Best chance for showers for inland areas comes Sunday, about a 60% chance of some hit and miss showers. Out on the west coast, mostly cloudy and highs of 18, so right around average for Thursday, Friday. Again, there will be parts of the west coast that could see a little bit of patchy drizzle, some fog patches as well tomorrow morning. Best chance for showers, though, is going to be Saturday night, and then some steadier rain through the course of the day on Sunday. Temperatures pretty steady, though, in that 17, 18-degree range. So, again, that's right around average. Low 20s for Thursday, Friday in Comox. Sunshine tomorrow, and then a little bit of cloud cover late in the day on Friday. Partly cloudy skies, 21 on Saturday with a chance of some rain on Sunday. It doesn't look like really heavy rain, but it does look fairly steady. In Nanaimo, sunshine at 23 tomorrow, highs of 22 under partly cloudy skies Friday, Saturday, and then a chance of showers as opposed to steadier rain in Nanaimo on Sunday. In Victoria, sunshine, 21 degrees tomorrow, 20s for Friday, Saturday, 20 degrees again on Sunday with a 30% chance of scattered showers, and still stuck in that 20, 21 degree range for a daytime high into early next week. CTV weather's brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations.
Thanks, Josh. Canada is promising to stand with Poland after a serious escalation in Eastern Europe. Russian drones shot down after entering Polish airspace. Poland is a key member of NATO, and its government says a line has been crossed. Russia has dramatically increased its deadly drone attacks on neighboring Ukraine in recent months. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the incident and the response.
Poland's prime minister said today his country is the closest it has been to open conflict since the Second World War.
Residents of an eastern Poland village describe hearing the roar of a plane falling from the sky, and then a massive boom shook their home. The house was destroyed, he said. The remnants of a suspected Russian drone remain in his yard as Polish authorities search several other sites where drones were found. Moscow claims there were no plans to target Poland. Many of them were shot down with the help of NATO allies, and talks between member countries were quickly called under an Article 4 consultation.
Ale to oczywiście też zmienia sytuację.
Prime Minister Donald Tusk praised the quick response of allies, but pointed out this changes the political situation. In a post on social media, U.S. President Donald Trump said, "What's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go." After a NATO meeting, the Secretary General said a full assessment of the incident is ongoing.
Allies expressed solidarity with Poland and denounced Russia's reckless behavior.
While rallying support for Poland in the European Parliament, Ursula von der Leyen told lawmakers the EU is now working on a 19th package of sanctions against Russia.
We're particularly looking at phasing out Russian fossil fuels faster. We're looking at the shadow fleet and at third countries.
Russia's defense ministry says it had not targeted Poland, but Prime Minister Tusk says there were 19 breaches of Polish airspace. And Canada's defense minister is casting doubt on the Kremlin's explanation.
I don't think we can take a lot of what comes from Russia right now at face value.
McGuinty wouldn't say if Canada will deploy more resources to the region, but Germany's foreign minister said NATO stands united and there must be a response to Russia's actions. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has been shot and killed during an event today in Utah. It happened on the campus of Utah Valley University. We get the story from ABC's Rena Roy.
A video posted on social media shows the moments right before conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot while speaking at Utah Valley University this afternoon.
Just one shot straight into Charlie Kirk.
And it was surreal. Everyone dropped, and I was like, where's the gunman?
Panic and chaos in the crowd as people ran for cover. Witnesses say Kirk was talking about gun violence when he was shot.
Everyone got down. Everyone was so scared.
Kirk is a massive voice in the conservative movement as the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA, an influential conservative youth organization. He's often sparked heated debates on college campuses across the country. His rhetoric has often been closely aligned with President Trump. Warren police saying the suspect is still at large. Both the ATF and FBI are responding. The FBI saying they're closely monitoring the situation and that agents are on the ground there. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Donald Trump taking to social media shortly after the shooting, confirming Kirk's death, saying no one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He goes on to say he was loved and admired by all and that his sympathies go out to Kirk's family. Coming up, paddling with a purpose. Adam finds out why a Ladysmith man attempted to circumnavigate the island on a stand-up paddleboard. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
A trusted voice focused on Vancouver Island first.
Good news for tourism.
Sharing stories.
We're here at Esquimalt Lagoon
that hit closest to home.
Housing is a growing issue. What's your plan?
Watch weekdays at 4:30 and at ctvnewsvancouverisland.ca.
Farabee. It's the Great Grocery Giveaway. ATs, how would you like to win a $2,000 smile card from Thrifty Foods? Today's code word is pot pie. Text the code word to 71010 for your chance to win.
Finally, Adam finds out the story behind a man who circumnavigated Vancouver Island on a stand-up paddleboard on tonight's Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Before he ever considered carrying his board to this beach, Paul Vercher was struggling to walk after breaking his ankle bad.
And she looked at me and said, "You're going to be in pain for the rest of your life." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Although the doctor was right, Paul endured all sorts of extreme activities for more than a decade until he had no choice but get a transplant.
Yeah, it can be depressing. It was horrible, yeah.
The man who defined himself by moving was stuck, but supported his mental health by dreaming of doing something special on his stand-up paddleboard when he recovered.
A few people have paddleboard sections around Vancouver Island, but no one had ever put it all together.
So you're like, I'm going to do that?
Yeah.
So Paul mapped a route round the island, about the same distance as Vancouver to Saskatchewan, packed his board with the basics, and paddled off. But things did not go according to plan.
It was pretty scary. I had my butt kicked.
He wrote notes like terrified on his map, near the places where he faced waves more than 3 meters high, or headwinds more than 35 knots, or bears who preferred their beaches more empty of people planning to camp there.
At the end of the day, I'd be like, wow, there's no day that'll be like the day I just went through. And then the next day arrives, and it's like, hold my beer.
But Paul persevered by doing 3 things. First, being motivated to move forward by looking back.
Don't look how far you still have to go. Look how far you've already come.
Second, being inspired by his surroundings.
I mean, even though every day was challenging, there was always beauty.
And finally, instead of being daunted by one big goal, staying focused on every small moment.
1 meter becomes a kilometer becomes 10. And next thing you know, you've paddled 1,300 kilometers around Vancouver Island.
And Paul finally achieved his goal, returning to the same beach he'd left after 36 days.
I was expecting a crowd of thousands. And there were 3 or 4 people here.
But then again, Paul's expedition was never about recognition. This was always a journey to overcome adversity and discover gratitude.
To try to appreciate every day that I had.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Ladysmith.
Well done, Paul. That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News, the darkest day in Vancouver's history is back in the spotlight. A judge has ruled the suspect in the Lapu Lapu Day Festival attack is mentally fit to stand trial for murder. Also tonight, sudden spike. What's behind a big jump in the price of gas and how long will it last? Plus,
you know, I've lived in a basement suite my whole life. Oh. And this is just so amazing.
A life-changing win. We catch up with the winner of the PNE Prize home as she sees her new house for the first time.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The man accused of killing 11 people by intentionally driving an SUV into a crowd at the Lapu Lapu Day Festival is fit to stand trial. That is the finding of a judge who announced the decision today. CTV's Ben Milger was in the courtroom, joins us now with more. So, Ben, what does this mean for the case?
Well, Nafisa, until the judge read his decision, there was a question about how quickly or even if this case would get to trial. Now things are proceeding in that direction because the judge weighed the evidence presented at the fitness hearing and decided Lowe's mental health issues did not meet the high bar for being found unfit. Adam Kaiji Lowe appeared in court by video from the secure mental health facility where he has been in custody since April. A sweeping publication ban prevents us from sharing most of the testimony and arguments heard at the fitness hearing. We can tell you a pair of forensic psychiatrists testified about their observations of Lowe during his time in custody. Based on the evidence, Judge Reg Harris found Lowe was able to understand the court proceedings and communicate clearly with his lawyer, and so deemed him fit for trial.
Generally, we just understand that this is a complicated court process that is dealing with a complicated medical legal sort of dynamic. And so certainly, the community is anxious and wants answers. We understand that this process just takes time.
In addition to 11 charges of second-degree murder, today Vancouver police announced an additional 31 counts of attempted murder against Lowe. No date has been set for his next court appearance. For now, Lowe remains in secure custody under the care and observation of mental health professionals. Nafisa?
Ben, thank you. The man accused in connection with a triple stabbing at a festival in Vancouver's Chinatown 2 years ago was cross-examined today. Blair Donnelly is on trial, charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. CTV's Martin McMahon has more from BC Supreme Court.
Blair Donnelly spent his day being cross-examined by the Crown. He spoke of his feelings and actions on the day of the attack on September 10th, 2023.
Donnelly was on an unescorted day pass from Colony Farm Psychiatric Hospital at the time. The 66-year-old acknowledged he was mentally sick when he stabbed the three people, adding he was morally sick. Donnelly said he felt God wanted him to carry out the attack, and also talked about having a delusion around the time of the stabbings that men wearing balaclavas were going to abduct him in a white van. On the stand, Donnelly has said he has felt in his heart that God wanted him to hurt someone. As for the moment right before the attack, he said it was as if a light had gone on, indicating he understood what he was supposed to do in terms of carrying out the assaults. Much of the early cross-examination focused on Donnelly's time at the Colony Farm Forensic Psychiatric Facility in Coquitlam. He was asked if he would prefer to go to Colony Farm rather than prison, and he said, all things being equal, yes. The cross-examination also explored a self-assessment tool Donnelly had been instructed to use to help him manage his mental illness, but he acknowledges he did stop using it at some point, but didn't know when or why.
Donnelly has pleaded not guilty, but on the stand has acknowledged that he carried out these stabbings. He has a history of violence, and in 2006, fatally stabbed his 16-year-old daughter. In that case, he was found ultimately not criminally responsible due to a mental disorder. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
A conservative activist and close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump has died after being shot at a college event in Utah. Trump confirmed the death of Charlie Kirk on social media this afternoon. The 31-year-old was killed while speaking at a debate hosted by his right-wing political organization, Turning Point USA. Moments before the shooting, Kirk was taking questions about mass shootings and gun violence. A suspect has yet to be identified. The feds are about to announce some major projects aimed at reducing Canada's economic reliance on the United States. The first wave of those big infrastructure projects will be announced by the Carney government tomorrow. CTV's Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum joins us now. Rob, the PM is in Western Canada right now, so is there any indication that BC is a priority for this spending?
Well, Nafisa, Prime Minister Carney is in Edmonton tonight and tomorrow, meeting with his Liberal caucus. He's also meeting tonight with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. She has repeatedly pushed for an oil pipeline through BC to be on this list. It's rumored that was on the long draft list, but it won't make the cut tomorrow. BC, well, it's emphasized this view that it should have multiple projects on this list, pointing to expansion of LNG, critical minerals, as well as hydroelectric transmission connecting with Alberta and the Yukon.
Build that one Canadian economy, turbocharged by major nation-building projects that connect our regions, that diversify our products, that build new markets and create those hundreds of thousands of high-paying careers.
I expect a significant number of BC projects on that major project list. If they're not, I will be not just deeply disappointed, but it will let down all Canadians.
The projects selected tomorrow will likely get federal funding and will have streamlined approvals for environmental, Indigenous, and regulatory assessments. Indigenous leaders maintain that they are concerned there will be insufficient consultation in advance of these projects going ahead. I spoke also to the Greens' Jeremy Valeriot today, the BC Greens. He expressed concerns that any LNG projects might get greenlit. He says his party will be very upset if that happens. So a lot of anticipation about tomorrow's list. Some will be happy, but there are certainly undoubtedly going to be others who are upset. Nafisa.
Rob Buffum live in Victoria. Thank you, Rob. Coming up, a jump at the pump, why you're paying more for gas today, and how long the spike is expected to last. Plus,
Eek! Oh my gosh! Look at this! Oh my gosh!
the lucky winner of the PNE Prize home tours her new digs, and we're tagging along as CTV News at 5 continues. Drivers in Metro Vancouver woke up to some pain at the pump today. Prices are as high as $191.9 per liter at stations around Metro Vancouver. And that's a jump of about 8 cents per liter from yesterday, and the highest price since March 30th, according to GasWizard.ca. Analyst Dan McTeague blames the spike on the shutdown of a pipeline in Washington state for maintenance. And he says that shutdown should be done by the end of this week, and prices should start going down next week. Last night, we brought you the story of a Vancouver condo owner whose long-term tenant illegally listed the unit on Airbnb. Tonight, we speak to another victim of the same scheme. She says the short-term rental platform did nothing to help and wants the city and province to investigate what she suspects is a coordinated criminal enterprise. CTV's Shannon Patterson has the exclusive story.
With help from her family, Sylvie Kim is getting her downtown Vancouver condo ready for the rental market.
Actually, we're spending a lot of money on renewing this, unit to rent it out again.
Kim had no issues with her last long-term tenant until this past June.
I got email from the strata saying that my unit has been used for short-term rentals, which I had no idea. So I got shocked, asked them for evidence. So then they came upstairs and knocked on the door. They found a couple visiting from Airbnb.
Kim called Airbnb and customer service asked her for a link to the fraudulent listing.
So then I came here to ask the guest about the link. And so they provided the link and who the host was, which wasn't my tenant.
Kim gave that information to Airbnb along with proof she owned the unit and didn't authorize the listing. But she says the company would not deactivate it.
They cannot take it off because then I have to talk to the host. How am I supposed to talk to the host? I don't even know them.
So Kim decided to confront her tenant.
And the tenant straight up lied to me first, but then he bailed. He just disappeared.
For the next month, Airbnb guests kept showing up to her condo.
What I ended up doing was I came this unit every single night to check if anybody checked in, right? So then I had to kick one young family out. I felt so bad about it, but I just explained them about the situation and told them to call Airbnb and ask them to find another unit because this is illegal.
Kim reached out to CTV after seeing our story on Hussein Tavakoli, another Vancouver condo owner whose long-term tenant illegally listed the unit on Airbnb.
The story was exactly the same and almost kind of proved my theory of this is not just one case, but this is like the organizational crime.
CTV News reached out to the City of Vancouver and the Minister of Housing requesting comment on the problem of long-term tenants illegally listing their units on Airbnb, but neither would grant us an on-camera interview, instead releasing statements outlining the current short-term rental laws and telling victims of the scheme to report it. You want the city and the province to look into this?
Yes, absolutely.
As she prepares to list her condo for rent again,
I really don't know how I can be protected from the same case scenario. It makes me nervous.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, she's always lived in a basement suite, but today there were some tears and lots of smiles as the winner of the PNE Prize home got to see her new house for the first time.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow.
Delta's Tracy Jackson was emotional as she arrived at her new home in Langley. She'd never even looked at photos of the inside until now, wanting it all to be a surprise. The 57-year-old former dispatcher who was forced to go on disability in 2019 after being diagnosed with MS has been buying PNE Prize home tickets for 2 decades, and she still can't believe she won.
I never expected it because my life doesn't work that way, right? My life has never worked that way. And now it's working this way. And I'm just so grateful, so grateful.
The $2.5 million home comes fully furnished and features 3 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms. It has a whiskey tasting room and a legal 2-bedroom suite. Jackson says she is very excited to have a dishwasher for the first time in her life. She'll be moving in next month. What a great story. Well, speaking of new homes, we need your help finding some forever homes for some rescued cats. Our new Homeward Bound segment is coming up. And later,
Mama just killed a man.
That's a flash mob, but it's not 2009 again. We'll show you why these performers chose this particular tune to sing on the streets of Paris. A peek down Rob Thompson Street, you can see some sunshine. I like that it's getting cooler in the evenings, and summer is still with us, but you can feel it getting cooler out there.
Oh, definitely, and the dew outside in the mornings. But yes, we're going to hold on to summer for the next couple of weeks because it is still officially summer. Things are changing towards the north coast. We do have a low offshore. That is bringing in some wet weather for the north and parts of the central coast as we head into tomorrow. So here's a look at our storm tracker. As you can see, it will be heavy at times for your early morning commute, slowly easing as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, clouding over. But for us along the south coast and southern interior, we will stay dry and we will stay nice and sunny. For the southern interior, lots of sunshine from Kamloops right down to Osoyoos with temperatures between 25 and 28 degrees. Active weather for Nelson and Cranbrook. Revelstoke, sunny skies with a high of 27. For the central interior, smoky conditions for Prince George and Cornell, a mix of sun and cloud for Williams Lake. Mostly sunny skies along the coast for Bella Coola for the northern half of the province. Rain, as mentioned, for Mass at Prince Rupert, Terrace, Dees Lake. Early morning showers clearing out of the way for Smithers. You'll see sunny skies in 26s for the northeast corner of the province. For the North Island, cloudy skies for Port Hardy at 18 degrees. 23s, mostly sunny skies for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, you're looking at sunny breaks for Tofino. A few clouds from Port Alberni right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 20 and 26 degrees. You'll see early morning drizzle for the Sunshine Coast. Clears up quite nicely through the afternoon, and 22. Few clouds up the Sea to Sky Highway. 24 for Whistler and Squamish, and for us across the lower mainland, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds starting off cloudy, and then with temperatures between 21 and 23 degrees. Heading into Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and 20. We'll see 21 degrees on Saturday. Seasonal temperatures at 19, and then into Sunday, we will see a few showers in the afternoon, continuing into Monday morning, but it does dry up. We'll get some sunny breaks in there as well, so not a complete washout at all.
Sprinkles. Thanks, Anne.
You're welcome.
It is time for Homeward Bound, our new weekly segment where we introduce you to some furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
That's right. First up, here are 3 cats up for adoption at the Regional Animal Protection Society, which runs Canada's largest cat sanctuary in Richmond.
Root Beer is a 5-year-old golden tabby that would prefer a home where he's the only cat. Rapp says he arrived at the center over a year ago with a chip on both shoulders. Now, he has since grown to welcome visitors, and, well, he likes a little bit of fussing over.
Aw, and Frank is another adorable feline that would prefer to be the cat of the home. He's 8 years old and was surrendered more than a year ago after his owners moved out of the province. Frank needs an affectionate home where he's allowed some quiet time when needed.
And Gwen is a long-haired, tortoiseshell female that came to Rapps from a rescue on Vancouver Island in December 2022. She's described as a bit of a diva, and with a mane like that, who can blame her? Rapps says she used to be quite shy, but has since warmed up to people, although not other cats. Ready to adopt, or if you want more information, you can email info@rappsbc.com or call 604-275-2036. Well, after the break, our flash mob's making a comeback. We'll show you one from Paris that might have you doing the fandango. But first, Moo Dang might have some competition from a newly discovered deep-sea fish that's never been seen before. We'll introduce you to this smiling little guy coming up, and take a look at this. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news? From your screen to ours, when you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Email us at vantips@ctv.ca or text 10400. We're not in Kansas anymore. This is the Wizard of Oz of the Las Vegas Sphere. Since opening on August 28th, Bloomberg reports the Sphere has welcomed up to 5,000 fans a day, with tickets costing around $200. That means the musical is raking in $2 million daily. The run could bring in over $1 billion before it ends next April. Well, the next season of The Bachelorette will have a familiar face for fans of another reality TV show.
Do you think I'm a bad person for those mistakes that I did? I don't think you're a bad person. I just think that you've done a lot of bad things.
Taylor Frankie Paul went viral for exposing a soft swinging scene in her Utah community, which inspired the show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. In season 1, the 31-year-old mother of 3 faced another scandal after being arrested for assaulting her then boyfriend. Her season of The Bachelorette debuts next year. Season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives starts this November 13th. Now with a preview of CTV News at 6, Mi-Jung Lee.
Nafisa, the man accused of murder in the Lapu-Lapu attack, is mentally fit to stand trial. The judge made the ruling today on Adam Kai Gilo, who appeared in court by video. As well as 11 counts of second-degree murder, he now faces 31 new charges of attempted murder in the April attack. We'll have reaction to the decision. And we hear from a friend of Jessica Cunningham. Her remains were found in her Maple Ridge home. Her partner is charged with indignity to human remains. What domestic violence advocates are saying about a deadly year for women in BC. And Canadian politicians are responding to the shocking murder of U.S. conservative activist Charlie Kirk at a Utah event today. I'll be back at 6. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mi-Jung. A cop and his canine are recovering after a traffic stop gone wrong as a packed bus gets hit by a swerving SUV and the crash is caught on camera. Plus, scientists discover a surprisingly cute deep-sea fish species. We'll take a look at this. Here's CNN's Jeremy Roth.
Watch a suspect drag a cop and his canine companion while fleeing in his vehicle from a traffic stop in Florida. The tense moments unfolded after the driver was pulled over for speeding. The Lake Wales Police Department said after the encounter became physical, the officer deployed his canine, and that's when the suspect took off, briefly dragging the pair behind the vehicle. The department said both the officer and his dog, Bolo, were later treated for injuries and released. As for the suspect, the department says he was later apprehended after a foot chase left him with a leg injury from attempting to hop a fence. More shocking moments from Wisconsin as a head-on collision between a swerving driver and a packed bus was caught on camera. A warning, some may find the video disturbing. Footage from inside the Racine City bus shows the moment it collided with the car, jolting passengers and sending some falling to the floor. According to WISN, multiple injuries were reported, but none were life-threatening. The driver is now facing more than 24 charges, including reckless driving and driving without a license. Whew. Well, now that we've had the shock, what we need is some aw. This adorable newly discovered species of smiling snailfish will do nicely. Researchers with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute have confirmed this grinning little guy is one of 3 species of snailfish previously unknown to science. The newly classified species has been dubbed the bumpy snailfish by scientists, thanks to its knobbly exterior, but it's the baby blue eyes and cutesy poo smile that's reeling in adoring social media fans hook, line, and sinker. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
So flash mobs are back.
Oh, exciting.
I know. Queen's hit single Bohemian Rhapsody turns 50 this year, and the anniversary inspired a concert like no other in the streets of Paris.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
A flash mob involving 30 musicians stunned and delighted onlookers in a busy Parisian square, and now viral video shows the singer serenading a crowd from the windows of surrounding apartments as the lead singer arrives by carriage. Stealing the show, however, a young guitar protege who competed on Britain's Got Talent.
Wow, that's so cool.
I know. I'd love to be
there,
a witness to that.
Yeah, same here. All right, let's take a look at this. I'd like to witness this as well. A spectacular sunset in Haida Gwaii last night. Thanks, Nora, for sending this one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Mi-Jung will be back for CTV News at 6. Right now, here is Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News. Where's our flash mob? Are you out there? Are you out there?
Now.
No.
How about